Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. In this video, I will show you how I sublimated this custom mug with a bottom design. Come on y'all, let's see how I did it. For this project, I will be using Sublimation Paper, HTVRont Sublimation Sticker Paper. I will be using heat tape, a Cricut Sublimation Mug, and my Cricut Mug Press. I will leave a list of these items in the description of the video. So here in Cricut Design Space, the first thing I'm going to do is select Projects on the left toolbar. In the search bar, I am going to type Mug Design Setup. I'm going to locate the project that I want. I'm going to select the Mug Design Setup project. For the finish size, I am going to select the drop-down menu and I am going to choose small rippled edge. So I'm going to choose the small ripped edge. And as you can see, there are several options to choose from. So you can select the option you like best. So once I select my finish size, then I'm going to select Customize in the bottom right. Next, I am going to upload the image for my mug wrap design. To do this, I am going to select Upload on the left toolbar. I'm going to select Upload Image. I'm going to select Browse. I am going to browse to where my image is located, and I am going to select my image and then hit Open. On this screen, it shows the image that we're uploading, and so I'm going to select Continue on the bottom right. There is no background to remove, so I'm going to select Apply and Continue on the bottom right. On this screen, I am going to select Flat Graphics and then select Continue on the bottom right. There is nothing for me to do on the image detail screen, so I'm just going to select Upload in the bottom right. Once the image is uploaded, I am going to size it to 8.75 by 3.79. This is the size of the small ripped edge template, which is the turquoise layer that we see here on the layers panel. So selecting the image, I'm going to go to the top toolbar. I'm going to unlock the lock proportion, and I am going to change the width to 8.75 and hit enter, and then change the height to 3.79 and hit enter. I am going to go to the layers panel and I want to hide the design guide and the mug wrap, which is the white portion of the template. And so on the layers panel, I am going to select the design guide, and then I am going to select the eyeball. So let me move this out of the way so you can see what is the design guide. So the design guide is the part that shows you how to position your images on your wrap, and it is showing that in this position would be the one side, this would be the middle, and this would be the other side. For this project, I do not need this design guide, and so on the layers panel, I'm just going to select the eye icon to hide it. I'm also not going to use the wrapped part here. I'm going to hide that as well. And I'm just going to select the eye icon to hide that, leaving me only with the turquoise piece. Next, I am going to center the mug wrap image and the template. So to do this, I'm going to select both the mug wrap template and the mug wrap design image. And I am going to go to the top of the toolbar and I'm going to go to Align and then Align Center. Then I'm going to slice so that the mug wrap design has the ripped edges like the template. So making sure that everything is selected. So you want to make sure that your design and the mug wrap template are selected. And as you can see on the layers panel, we have the image and the template selected. And then I'm going to go to the bottom of the layers panel and I am going to select slice. Once the slice is complete, I am going to delete the unwanted portions. So I don't need this portion here. So I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. This is my image. I no longer need the template. So I'm going to hit delete there as well. And then I'm going to delete this portion here as well. So then that only leaves me with my mug wrap image on the canvas. For this mug, I want to add a mouth image on the bottom of the mug. I am going to upload that image to the canvas. I am going to size this image to fit the bottom of my mug. For this project, I am using a Cricut sublimation mug that is 12 ounces. And according to my measurements, I need to size the image to 2.75 inches proportionately. So, making sure that the image is selected, I am going to go to the top toolbar under size. I'm going to make sure that the lock proportion is locked. And then I'm going to change the width to 2.75 and hit enter. The height will change proportionately. With everything sized, I am going to go to make it in the top right. On this screen, I have my print then cut mat. Because I am doing sublimation, I will not mirror the image on this screen. I am going to let the printer settings mirror the image for sublimation. Because you cannot sublimate on the bottom of the mug, I am going to use sublimation sticker paper to get the image on the bottom of the mug. Since I will be using sublimation sticker paper, I need for the mouth image to print on its own page. To move the image to its own page, I am going to select the image, and then I'm going to go to the three dots on the top left side of the image, and I'm going to select that. I'm going to select Move Object. I'm going to select New because I need it on its own page. And then it has moved to its own page. Now I have two print then cut mats. I have the first mat, which is the mug wrap design. And then I have the second mat, which is the mouth that I am going to put on the bottom of the mug. So selecting my first print then cut mat, I am going to select Continue on the bottom right. Next, I am going to select Send to Printer. I'm going to select Next. I am going to select my printer. I'm going to leave the add bleed on. I'm going to turn on use system dialog. And then I'm going to select print. Once the system dialog box opens, I am going to select my sublimation printer, and then I'm going to select preferences. I am going to select my 8.5 by 11 preset. I am going to check to make sure that my document size is 8.5 by 11. My paper type is premium presentation matte. My quality is high. I am going to select the more option tab, and I am going to check to make sure that the high speed is not checked. And then I'm going to check to make sure that the mirror image is checked. I'm going to select OK, and then I'm going to select print. To print my second matte, I am going to select done, and then I'm going to select my second matte, and then I'm going to select send to printer. I'm going to select next, and then I will follow the same steps. Okay, so here at the heat press, I am going to press the sublimation design onto the sublimation sticker paper. So placing the design onto the sticker paper, I'm just going to even it up, and then I'm going to place it down. I am going to be taping the design and the sticker paper down with the sublimation paper up. And so I'm just going to tape it down so that the paper and the sticker paper is taped down and it won't shift. And so again, I am going to be a little extra with the tape, just so that I can make sure that everything is taped down securely. I am going to cover it with butcher paper, and then I am going to press it at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. Next, I am going to place the sublimation sticker paper on the blue cutting mat. I'm going to place it in the same direction that is shown on the computer by placing it in the upper left-hand corner, lining it up with the grid that's on the mat, and also with the arrow to the left of the image. Now that I have the sublimation sticker paper ready to cut, I am going to go back into Cricut Design Space. I'm going to select Done, and then I am going to select Premium Vinyl as my material setting. Now I am going to cut the mug wrap design to size by cutting off the white edges. You want to make sure that you cut all the unwanted white spaces off. Since the wrap has the ripped edges, I'm just going to cut as close as possible to the design as I can get. And to cut the design, I am going to be using an X-Acto knife and a ruler. So I have the mug wrap design cut out, and I've already cleaned the mug to remove any residue that may interfere with the sublimation process. And so I am going to place my cup upside down, and then I'm going to place my image upside down, and I'm just going to wrap it around the cup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it's on straight and that there is an equal amount of space on both sides of the handle. I want it to be even on both sides. So I'm just going to eyeball it to make sure that I have the same amount of space. And then once I'm satisfied, I'm going to tape down one side with some heat tape. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to push the paper really firm to make sure that the paper is tightly wrapped around the mug. So I want to make sure that the paper is making full contact with the mug. We don't want any air in between the mug and the paper, because any air in between can cause ghosting. Once I have everything where I want it, then I'm just going to continue to tape up the seam of the mug. Then I am going to tape up the top of the mug. So I'm going to get a piece of heat tape, a long piece of tape, and I am going to place the tape half on the mug and half off of the mug, and I'm just going to pull it real tight just to make sure that I get the top of the paper securely wrapped around the mug. And see here, it came off a little bit, so I'm just going to add some more tape right here, and then again just pull really tight to make sure that the top of the mug is tight. And then I'm just going to push it over into the mug like that. And then I'm going to do the same process for the bottom. Now, once you have your mug taped up so that the paper is securely onto the mug, you want to make sure that there are no wrinkles on the mug and on the tape. And so you want to use a squeegee to kind of press down to make sure that the paper is firmly pressed up against the mug. And you want to make sure that there are no wrinkles. So you want to get the seams down. You want to make sure that those are down, pressed down real firmly. And you want to get around where the you want to get around the rim, the bottom, and the top. And if you have to, you can go back and add tape if you like, just to make sure that everything is tight. Next, I am going to wrap the mug in some butcher paper, and I am going to wrap it in the butcher paper to protect the Cricut Mug Press from getting any ink on it when the mug is sublimating. So I'm just going to put a piece of tape here and another piece of tape here just to protect the mug press. It doesn't have to be tight or anything. It's just to protect the mug press. And the beep has indicated that the mug press is ready. Now that the mug press is ready, I am going to put my mug inside the press. And then I am going to position the handle all the way to the left. And then I'm going to press down the handle to start the mug press. Typically, a press takes about 6 minutes. The status bar at the top of the mug press will indicate where you are in your process of sublimation. Once it reaches the last light, it will beep to indicate that the process is complete. The mug press has beeped to indicate that it is finished. And so I'm just going to lift up the handle, and then I'm going to use the handle of the mug to remove the mug from the mug press, placing it on a heat-resistant mat. And I want to make sure that you understand that only the handle is cool. The rest of the mug is hot. And so you want to be careful when you are removing the mug from the mug press. So I'll be back once the mug cools off. Okay, so now the mug is cool, and I am going to remove the butcher paper and the sublimation paper. Ooh, I like it. It is so cute. Wow, this is nice. This is so nice. So now I am going to clean the bottom of the mug off to get any sticky residue off from the sublimation heat tape. And then I am going to add my sticker. And so here's my sticker. And I'm just going to peel it off of the paper. And then I want to make sure that I line up the sticker with the mouth on the front of the mug. And so this is the front of the mug, and I am just going to put the sticker down so that it lines up with the face that's on the front of the mug, like that. So I'm just gonna put it down. Okay, that is so cute. Wow, look at that. That is so cute. Now, if you want to, you could put some UV resin on the bottom to kind of seal it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it like this because it is my cup. And I am just going to leave it like this, but I will let it sit for about 24 hours to make sure that the sticker is going to adhere to the bottom of the mug without lifting. So you want to give the sticker time to actually settle in onto the mug. But look at that, y'all. Isn't that adorable? That is so adorable. I love it. What do you think? Let me know what y'all think about this mug. All right, guys. That's all for now. I hope that you're able to follow along with my process. If you like this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.